Okay, so hello everyone and welcome to June's Circle of Light, and it's wonderful to have many of our constant members who have been with us a long time here live today, as well as many new members. So thank you all for being here, and thank you also to those of you who are listening on replay. And there's nothing to announce about what you need to do. There's nothing particularly that you need to do other than to listen, to follow the guidance that the Archangels of Absolute Light and the Ascended Indian Masters of Absolute Light bring through, and to just let yourself follow that and to bathe in the energy and to allow that energy and the energetic light codes to wash over you as well, because they say that we're all going to be activated very highly during this call to know ourselves in more of the truth of the infinite light and the infinite love, the divine light and the divine love that we are. So let us begin with a short breathing exercise after we've taken some time to ground in. So if you'd like to begin by closing your eyes and just taking a couple of breaths deep into the heart space, connecting to the core essence of you. And as you breathe into your heart and start to feel tangibly the love that is there, perhaps supporting yourself in this by remembering a pet or a child or a grandchild or a person that you have greatly loved. And allowing this feeling of love to swell in your heart space. And to begin to expand and grow so it's as big as your aura. And then as the room that you're in. Knowing that this is you. This energy of love. That is what you are. Is your truest and your highest and your purest essence and your highest and your purest expression of self, which can be tapped into any time. Simply by taking the time to get quiet, to go within, and to breathe into the heart. Thank you. And the beings of absolute light say that they are going to be activating each of us each time that we take time to do this through the rest of this month. They don't mean just through the month of June. They say they mean through to our next meeting in July. That we will be activated to feel deeply, calmly. They're saying that we'll be able to really touch with the peace and the calmness, that infinite peace that lives in our heart, and to know ourselves as this each time that we take this time and make this effort to simply breathe into our heart and to center into the love that we are throughout the ongoing month. And they ask you to put your attention on the soles of your feet as they rest on the ground or the floor in the room that you're in. And to visualize pure crystalline light coming up from the center of 16D and above Earth, coming up through your legs, into the base of your body and settling in your root chakra. And feeling the strength and the power of this connection to the vibration. And they're saying the word density, but not in the sense of dense and heavy, but in the sense of the permeability of this as a feeling sense, that you can truly feel this connection to the light of the higher dimensional version of Gaia that we are now co-creating together, but is already there as an energetic presence. They are saying for us to tap into this way. They say that by doing this, we help and support ourselves in aligning with the energies of New Earth, that which wants to be created and brought forth, and will be supported by the higher dimensions and by infinite light going forward. They say that in these times from now, that which is not aligned with this higher dimensional Earth and that which wants to be birthed forth, that which Gaia wants to birth forth, and that which Source and the higher dimensions want to be birthed forth through Earth, will not be supported any longer. And only that which is aligned with supporting us in being as a collective, a higher vibrational essence of being, will be truly supported going forth. And though that which is not aligned with that may be able to be built up and to last for a short time, it will not be an ongoing or a permanent presence in our world going forward, they are saying now. And they wish us to remember this so that we can take hope for it when and if we see things and institutions around us crumbling. Remembering that although the devastation and the destruction may look scary or terrifying and be hard to deal with from this space of our human self, that it is indeed being used to bring all into alignment with this higher dimensional frequency of being that is now already permeating the earth, permeating Gaia, and supporting each of us to come into a higher alignment with that. And that Gaia, as a unique starship, is embodying that energy. Thank you. And so, as we tap into that energy of Gaia, we are able to receive that support for her. As she wishes to add her voice to the message, saying that simply because we are saying that only that which is aligned with the light and of the highest light will be able to be brought forth. That does not mean that everything that has previously existed is bad or needs to go. She says there are many areas in which there will be required to be new thinking, but they are still important things, important structures, in some cases important institutions even that we have had in place. She says it will be important to continue the education of our children, whether in the traditional institutions or whether in new kinds of institutions or in different situations, or perhaps even at home as mothers and fathers and as parents. She wants to stress and to underline that these kind of traditional jobs, whatever they may be, and she is only raising up this one example of teaching it because it's a very clear and easy example for us to understand, but it doesn't mean that the jobs and the institutions, even, she says, all of them need to go or to be dissolved as such. It's that they need to be brought into this alignment with the higher frequency of light. And it's if they can't do this that they will indeed then, she says, be dissolved by the effect of the higher dimensional energy reigning in that will not allow anything that is not in alignment with that to exist. But she says if we as a human collective can bring things into alignment with that higher frequency and higher vibrational essence of being, just as we are bringing ourselves into alignment with that higher dimensional essence of being and that higher frequency, and emitting that in everything that we are thinking and saying and being and doing, then these institutions therefore have a greater chance of being able to survive, because she says survival is not a case always of surviving in the current form. She says that change is inherent to nature, and that we are a part of nature, which means that our institutions and the things that we have built up are also a part of in nature. So that what needs to be embraced is change, and the kind of change that allows them to come into alignment with the higher dimensional values of love and of light and of joy and of health and of well-being and of happiness for all. So not just aligning with the higher dimensional frequency, but aligning with these higher dimensional principles of being, she says too. And she says that this is easier in some ways for us to grasp, for aligning with the higher dimensional frequency is much more an energetic sense. So for those of us who are used to sensing energy, that will be something that is easier for us to perceive. But for those within the human collective who have not been on this path and perhaps do not have any experience of or any connection with trying to experience themselves as an energetic being, or to feel the sense of an energy in a room, or the energy that is permeating something that they are involved in and part of. She says that this idea of the founding principles of what something is being brought on, built on, is something that can be understood by everyone. And that this is something that we can use in our conversations with others, that will help to make to them this concept of what New Earth is and what New Earth could and should and desires to. She says it's what she, as the being of absolute light, that is birthing forth New Earth. It's her desire and her vision for this earth that is a space of equality for all of humanity, whatever race or gender or color or sexual orientation or any of those other divisions that we put between us. She wishes them all to be dissolved, and she wishes for this big gap that is often seen between the higher and the lower stratas of society to be dissolved, so that all can live in comfort, all can live in wealth, all can live in abundance. Thank you. She says she is activating this now, so that as each of us bring forth our creations that are aligned with the energies of New Earth, then she is going to be supporting them in being grounded into the New Earth bed and the New Earth frequencies and the New Earth grid work. And she says that this will support them then in coming in to manifestation in a greater and an easier way. Thank you. And she wishes only to add at this time that she thanks each of us for our pure-hearted nature. She says, which is our service more than we know. Mary Magdalene of Absolute Light is coming through now and saying that we often see of our service as a doing, but our service always begins with, and so often can also end with, the pure being, the beingness of the love-centered being, and the light-centered and light-focused, and focused on creating that which is light and that which is aligned with light. And she says, if we find that difficult to perceive and to understand, again, we can come back to the values and the principles that we wish to uphold and to embody. And she wishes to assure us, dear beloved ones who are already holding and embodying so much light, she says, thank you for each time you are embodying love, you are embodying compassion, you are embodying integrity, strength, joy. You are sharing of yourself in ways that uplifts yourself and your own vibration, or uplifts the people around you and lifts them out of the circumstances that they find themselves in, and helps them to see and to find more potentiality for change and for transformation, and to see the possibility that is available to them. She says, each time any of you do this, then you are truly blessed and truly loved. She says, you are always truly loved by the entire universe. But that each time you do an act that is aligned with the higher principles of love and of light like this, the outpouring of love from all the angels and all the ascended masters and all the elementals and the other beings who are supporting Earth in her ascension pathway at this time. Thank you. And she says that now we are opening up to receive that support from those who are on our unique teams, whether that be the elementals, the angels and the angelic realms, the archangels, the galactics, the ascended masters, a combination of all. For she says that for all of us, there is more than one of these aspects that is on our team and that is supporting us at this time. For those of us who are gathered here and those of us who are gathered in the light worker community at large, she says that we are old, wise old souls who have lived so many lifetimes in so many planes and dimensions of existence, and that we have galactic roots in many star systems, and that we have been with the angels, and that we have danced with them, and we have danced with the fairies, and we have all this in our history as a soul. And it is time now for us to claim this and to integrate this into the life that we are currently living, embodied in this incarnation, in this earth plane at this time. Thank you. And she said the support that she and her sisters from the Divine Feminine of Absolute Light are going to be pouring in as guests to this circle this month, which is not something that I was given awareness of in advance, but she is coming in now and saying that this is what they are pledging to do. She says they are moved by the beauty and the purity of the hearts of those who are gathered here in this circle, whether live or on replay, whether listening deeply in the present moment of now or listening as you are going about your day and doing the things that need to be done to support yourself and your family. She says she can see that each person in the group has a true and pure desire to be of service and to bring more light to the world in the way that is uniquely aligned with them. And she says for some of us, or for some of you and me included, it may not even look like or feel like service. Service might not even be a word that we resonate with. But she wishes us to know that when we move into this joyfulness and light nature of being and allow our gifts to be brought forth, and in particular, she is saying our multidimensional gifts, which are what have traditionally been called the spiritual gifts. So our clairs, and then using the gifts of our clear seeing or our clear hearing or our clear feeling. Thank you. And she says again, we are being activated to do this to a higher and a stronger level going forward. When we use these to bring more joy, to bring more peace, to bring more healing to the lives of the people around us, then this is service. Whether we are doing that as a paid service or not, she wishes us to know that that defines us as a light worker and as one of the new tribe of leaders, of light workers and way showers that is being built up on the earth at this time to support Gaia and to support humanity in her hour. She says, always remember that we are human too. And remember to lean deeply into that, leaning into the physical nature of our being too. For this is where all healing, all physical healing can truly take place, when we identify with the body too. So it is important, she says, to see us as an energetic presence. But it is also important to ground that energetic presence into the physical world so that we are not always floating somewhere up in the higher dimensions outside our body. She says that is not what this time is about. This time is about grounding the higher dimensions into our body. And she says we do that by allowing ourselves to experience the higher dimensions in our connection with them, in meditation, but by also always remembering to ground into the energy of Gaia, and in particular of the higher dimensional earth, the new earth gridwork of light, and bringing that energy of the higher dimensions back through us and connecting it through our feet into Gaia. And so as we remain connected to Gaia, she asks us to now do this, asking each of us to place a hand on our heart. And as we once more feel the connection through our feet, and through the energy that has been sitting and expanding, growing in our root chakra all this time, she says, to the energy of Gaia. She asks us now to open our crown chakras, and to feel or hear or see or visualize or imagine pure crystalline light coming in from source, coming in through our crown, all the way down to our root chakra, just merging with the energy of Gaia there. And then allowing this energy to be breathed down through our legs, through the surface of the earth, penetrating through the inner levels of the earth, all the way down to the center of 13D and above earth. And allowing this energy to pool there, where it blesses not only us, but the whole of the human collective. Knowing that Gaia takes this energy that we have allowed to be passed and channeled through our bodies and contributes and amplifies to it with her own, so that the energy of higher dimensional Gaia and the energy of pure source light is blessing not only each of us, but the whole of humanity, the whole of the human collective, and the whole of the world. And Gaia is coming forth and saying now that she wishes each of us to put our attention or focus on one person, to just say their name now out loud in the place that we are in. And one person, one place. That we wish this energy to be brought forth in such a way that it truly blesses that place and truly blesses that person and their life. Knowing that there is nothing more that we need to do. We can trust that this is being done for us by Gaia and for the beings in the higher dimensions. Thank you. trusting that they are engineering things in such a way that comes forth. And Mary Magdalene of Absolute Light wants to step back in for a moment now to tell us and let us know that this can be done as many times as we like, as long as this replay is available, and that each time, each person that we name and each place that we name, the energy will be blessed. And she encourages us, in fact, not to focus on the same people or the same place, but to bring many people and many places into this sacred circle of light that is being created between us and between Gaia and between Source, and allow many of the people that we know in our life, whether it's the shop clerk that we met in the store that day, or our dear and beloved brother or sister, many places, whether close to us or far away on the other side of the world, so that many, many, many places and points around Gaia, many, many people can be filled with the energy of this blessing of light. Thank you. And if you need to take a slight pause at this time to have a drink of water, that's fine too. And the archangels at Absolute Light are saying that once we've had time to catch our breath and to have a drink of water or shift in our chair and kind of get more comfortable in our body again, and they're going to take us into a deeper experiential knowing of the love and the light that we are. So asking everyone to once more close your eyes and to come back to center. And to perhaps shift your weight slightly from side to side or back and forward, so that you do truly come to rest in center. And to feel that elevation of your spine going up towards source light above. And then your root chakra pulling you down towards the center of the earth, knowing that you, as a human vessel that carries and transmits light, is a connector between these two dimensions, between source light above and the earth and the human collective. That we, as the light workers and the weight showers, are here to bless and to support at this time. It's one more message that wants to come through first, saying at the same time as we allow ourselves to be blessed and allow ourselves to open up and to receive great abundance for that which we are putting forth, that is aligned with these higher dimensional realities of light and of love. Thank you. This is also being activated more strongly for each of us, and we are also told that while it is wonderful to conceive of abundance as a much wider term than just having to do with money, they also want us to open up to receive in terms of financial abundance too at this time. For we are at a time on the planet when the abundance is shifting and changing and is going to be coming into the hands of those who are supporting this timeline of new earth and what wants to be birthed forth through the earth. And we are asked to clear the blocks to money, to perceiving money as bad or as evil, or even they say something as subtle, as subtly disempowering as seeing some money as something that we don't really need or don't want to depend on to be happy. They say at this time we still live in a place where money is the currency that is used. So in this place and time where money is the currency that is used, whether this is to continue for a long time or not, in this place and time where it is so, then we need to overcome the barriers within us to receiving money, and not just to receiving money, but the barriers within us, they say, to money. Money is something that many as of Earth have kind of shoved down or pushed away, not in the sense of pushing away physical money, but in our energetic attitude to it, they are saying. Like we've said, we don't want to see, we don't want to look, perhaps because we have felt disempowered, because we don't know what to do with it or how to grow it or what to do with the money that we have got, or how to manage our money in such a way that it doesn't create stress for us. So many of us, they're saying, have simply just took the attitude of turning a blind eye on our money and not really equipping ourselves with the knowledge that could support us in having a much more empowered and loving relationship to the money that we have, or the money that we desire to bring in. They say that others of us have been in far too much of a grasping and a getting energy of almost desperation, and that this too repels money. And that they ask and they say they are now bringing in the divine Christed light codes of absolute light that will also support us in having this healthy attitude to money, where we see money as an energy that we love, for we know that it can work through us to bring forth great creations in the world, whether these be creations be a trip that we take or something that we buy to give ourselves pleasure. All these, even these simple things that we do for ourselves, they say, support the whole. For when we buy that trip or that thing that we have desired, then our money is supporting all the people who have been any part of that production process, or in the area in which we are going to travel, and all the travel companies and the plane companies and all the people in between who are taking us from here to there. And then also, in the greater sense, in choosing consciously to use our money in ways that are of service. They say it is only when we have a greater level and a greater degree of abundance that we can do this, but we can choose what we want to pour our money in to support the whole, whether we found our own community or found a charity or pay into an existing charity or inject money into our local community to see it more uplifted, or into a particular spiritual community that we want to support because we see how much good that they are doing in the world. They say that when we have money, we get to make such choices that are not available to us otherwise. And so in this time and in this place, they say, if we want to be truly powerful and truly influential in the world, then money is one of the ways, in fact, in which we can do this. They say it's not the only way, and it doesn't mean that all of us have to be rich if we don't want to be. But they say that money can bring in a great deal of ease for us as individuals. Thank you. And they are supporting all of us, they say, this month in having the ideas that will help us. Thank you. In having those ideas that will align with the higher dimensions and allow us to naturally bring this money in and attract it to us because of the ideas that we are being given by Source. So if we have momentary sparks of inspiration, and particularly this month, they say they ask, and again, they mean during the 4 weeks until the next circle, they ask us not to just dismiss them as a crazy idea, but to consider that they could be coming from Source, they could be inspiration from Source, and to think about how we could make them a reality. As they say, there's always so much opportunity available to us than we know. And then when we take that first step, if it is something that is aligned, then more will pour in to support it. You can almost guarantee this at this time, they say, more than in past times. Like, that might not necessarily be support that helps it come into physical being yet easily, they say, but it would be support perhaps in terms of talking about the idea of someone and they say, wow, that's such a great idea, I wish I'd thought of that, or something along these lines. So it's not necessarily going to be financial support pours in straight away, though it could be something like that too, they are saying, but there will be less dismissing of your idea than there has been in the past, and more openness and support for the kind of creations that you want to bring forth. And as these are expressed to you, you can see this as an affirmation and a confirmation that this could be something that is good to put some of your energy and time into. And they also remind us that we always get the choice. So if we start to move in a certain direction and then discover that, in fact, contrary to what we had thought, it is not the direction that we actually want to be going in and doesn't align with us as much as we thought. And even though it's actually bringing us in abundance, we don't really like it as much as we thought. So we always have that choice to just stop and to turn around and to make a different choice. So they ask us to remember that. They want us to really dip into this energy of lightness and of play, and just playing with the energy and playing with the frequency, and also with the frequency of energy and of money and of business. Thank you. Not getting so caught up in how it should look or how it has to be, allowing ourselves to just try it out, try it on, like almost like we were trying on a new dress in a changing room of our favorite store, they say. Is it almost knowing that we haven't even got the money to buy it? So it's like kind of knowing that we don't even have the resources right now to make this thing happen, but at the same time leaning into that trust that it is something that is aligned. Then as we begin to move forward in the direction, then somewhere down the line the universe will be bringing those resources in. Thank you. So they say that is the last of the messages that they wish to bring forth today. Now they wish to take us deeper within ourselves again, so we can truly align with that pure and true and infinite essence of self, of the love and of the light that we are. They ask us first to begin by putting our attention on our breath, and each of us in silence, breathing in for 4, holding for 4, And breathing out for 4. And doing this twice, each of us, in our own time, beginning now. And they wish us to continue now breathing in silence, taking another 3 breaths. This time breathing in for 8, holding for 4 or for 6 as we are able, they say. And breathing out for 6 or for 8 as we are able. So either 8 for 8, or if that is difficult, 8 for 6, with the option of 8, 6, 8, or 8, 6, 6 if you prefer. They say the main aim is to really deepen our breath and to slow our breathing down. So the precise numbers you choose don't matter. So just choose one that feels good for you. And taking 3 breaths at that rhythm, beginning now. Now they wish us to visualize a ball of crystalline, pure white light in front of our heart space. And on the next in-breath, to breathe it directly into our heart. And on the out-breath, to visualize this energy completely filling our heart space. And to take 3 more breaths in silence, this time to whichever rhythm we prefer, without counting, keeping our focus on this light, crystalline light within our heart space, and feeling our heart start to become one with that, knowing that as we do, this is us in our experience of ourself, in our highest and most absolute truth. So they ask us to do that now in silence for 3 breaths, and then they say we are to continue breathing like that, as they will perhaps, they say, channel some messages of love, more like affirmations than messages, they say, into the circle for you to repeat in your head after them. So let us begin now. They wish to say first that as we are doing this, they have been clearing out the back of our hearts, where they say much pain and trauma from past experiences, whether in this lifetime or others, has been stored. That this is being cleared and restored into balance for us in ways, I say that although it hasn't been 100% cleared, the parts of it that need to be cleared so that we can progress forward on our path have been cleared first, because it is so important that we, the light workers and way showers, step up and be seen and be visible at this time. Thank you. And they say for many of us, it was also a clearing of our throat chakras. And they ask us now to visualize this energy, this ball of light that we have created in our heart, reaching up and expanding to grow to encompass also our throat and that entire higher chest area. And simply breathing into this energy here now for 2 breaths. They say that some of us may have felt this energy moving in our heart and our throat. Now they ask us to place our hands on our heart and to continue breathing into the love and the light that we are as we visualize this energetic ball of light centered within our heart space, knowing that this is the eternal truth of infinite love and of infinite light that we are. So they will be floating some affirmations into the circle. You are welcome to just kind of ignore, just letting them be background noise without even putting your focus on the words if you're deeply absorbed in the energy, or just listen if you prefer, or to repeat back in your mind. They say it's your experience and you get to choose. It's entirely up to you. I am love, pure, pure love. Love is the essence of my being, and love is the all that I am. I am light, pure, brilliant, beautiful white light. Light is the essence of my being, all that is, and all that I am. Thank you. Continuing to activate each of us to know this at a still deeper and more heart penetrating level, they say, so that we know this not only as a knowledge in our head, but also as a feeling in our heart. They would like to finish, for those of you who have time to stay, or they say we are coming up to the hour, so if any of you need to quietly leave, that is okay. But for those of you who are able to stay on the call, there is one question that they wish to float forward, and you can either just continue to work with it in meditation for 2 or 3 minutes and see what you receive, or to journal for 2 or 3 minutes and see what you receive. But they say, saying centered in this energy of the love and the light that you are. Question that they ask you to put your attention on, and that they are activating us to receive clear answers to from our own highest self and from our own light team too, they say, is: how can I be of the greatest service in the world this month? And they say to consider things you are thinking and saying, and the way that you are being, as well as the things that you perhaps are doing and moving on. So allowing 3 minutes of silence now to let you either meditate or journal with this question. And they say they realize that perhaps there's more time that you want to spend on this, and that this energy that has been activated within you will be continuing to permeate your being, they say, for the next 2 hours at least. So if you do have time after the circle and want to come back to it, you are more than welcome. And they also wish to remind you that this energy will also be activated in you each time you do either the heart breathing that we did at the beginning of the circle or re-listen to the replay. And also they would like those of us who truly desire to be of service and truly to align with our path, to ask this service, but this question, but with the word this day. How can I be of the greatest service in the world, in the things that I am thinking, doing, being and saying this day? Or just the shorter version, how can I be of the greatest service in the world this day? That this would be a great question, they say, that we could ask at the beginning of each day. And I'll ask Reba to perhaps put that up underneath the replay, put up as a text. I'll send it to you so that that will be there for everyone to see. And they thank each of you again for the purity and beauty of the being that you are, and for being here with us today. And I also too thank each of you for being here and contributing your beautiful energy to the circle. And don't know if there's anything that anyone wants to share before we finish.
Thank you, Julia. It was extraordinary.
It was beautiful, wasn't it? I still feel very, very aligned with that higher dimensional energy. And also I'll be posting in the group where everyone can, in the A to Z forum, where everyone can receive their short personal message. If you would like to, please comment. I don't channel one for you unless you comment that you want one. So if you do, please make sure to do that. And also that will be a space to share. I know often when we finish these, we're so still in the intensity of the energy that it's hard to put words to our experience, but it would be great to also hear how you experienced the circle, or what guidance came through for you, or something like that. So thank you everyone for being here. It's wonderful to connect with you this way, and I look forward to seeing those of you who join us in the forum, and those of you who are able to join us next month. I look forward to seeing you live next month too.
Thank you. If anyone wants to unmute yourselves, we can say good night, put our voices on the replay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was so wonderful.
Sharelle, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your message right, but the group is A to Z Members Forum. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right. I see your message. A to Z Members Forum. I can send it to you in a PM, but you will need to friend me first to get my PM, I think.
On Facebook?
Yes, it's a Facebook group. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, if you just type in the search bar A to Z Members Forum, it should come up.
Yeah. Okay, will do. Thank you.
Okay. And thank you everyone very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.